Hello everyone, this is Terry. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Amethystastrotarot. Today is 27th of March 2025, and this is the first video for the upcoming solar eclipse on 29th of March in the sign of Aries. This video would be more about technical details of the upcoming solar eclipse, but still it's, I think, very important to know the dates, the degrees, and every kind of technical details related with the solar eclipse, which is also, we have to have a new moon, of course, for the solar eclipse happening. Why? Because as we know these details, we can understand what is going to happen when, or what happened when, and how did it impact us, or how is going to impact us. And if it does, in case that you have any information about your natal charts a little bit, you can understand if this solar eclipse will have a direct impact on your chart. So it's always important to know the technical side of the upcoming astrological events as much as the interpretation, because as I always say, in the interpretation part, we are limited with the general interpretations most of the time, as we don't know the details of each of individual charts. It gives, of course, a sense, a taste of what is coming up, but to know always, to be able to know, or to be able to understand what can happen to our lives in terms of any astrological event happening, we need to find a contact with our natal charts. Having said all, making a whole introduction, let's see when this solar eclipse will be happening. It's going to be happening. I will open my I won't share it with you, I think, at the moment, but I will open in the meantime to have. The solar eclipse in Aries will happen on 29th of March 2025, and it would be a partial solar eclipse, which would be followed by a new moon in Aries. So the solar eclipse degree for the moon would be 8 degrees 53 minutes of Aries. And for the new moon, some of the, I think, softwares can show it like 8 degrees 59, but my software is showing it 9 degrees of Aries. And this would be the last eclipse in Aries, actually, until October 18, 2032. So we are in a way pulling out of this Aries Libra axis of eclipses, and we are going into another term. We will see more Virgo and Pisces, but there would be, of course, Aquarius and other signs on the way. But with the Aries, this would be the last eclipse until 2032. And if you follow me, you will hear me always talking about this famous Metonic cycle, which takes us back to 19 years in time. And in that sense, when we go back to 2006, we see that on March 29, 2006, there was a total solar eclipse in Aries too, which was the 8 degrees 33 minutes. And when I look at the two charts, one of the most important differences that I have recognized was the nodes, the lunar nodes. And in this upcoming one, North Node is in Pisces, and it is 12 degrees apart from the moon. And in 2006, North Node was in Aries, and it was 4 degrees away from the moon. And also, I mean, looking at the as the moon is in Aries, so that means that the ruling planet of the Aries, Mars, would make an impact as a dispositor. So that Mars being in Cancer now, and that time in 2006 again in Gemini, as the dispositor gives us a complete different message. I believe in that because it's like Mars in Cancer and Mars in Gemini, one in a cardinal water sign and the other is in a mutable air sign. They may be carrying different energies, different types of spirits, and different types of enthusiasm, and different types of various that will and that had an impact on the solar eclipse of that time. And we can also, when I look at the chart of the eclipse, at least when we look at the modality and the elemental distribution, looking at the elements of the signs or the modalities of the signs in terms of, I mean, elements. When we look at the traditional planets, at least, because I mean, to look at maybe the rising sign and the midheaven wouldn't be right in this case, as in different time zones we will have different rising signs and different midheavens. But looking at the traditional distribution, we can see that we have water and more water and fire, much dominant. Again, there is no earth, and we have also air. And thinking about all this kind of distribution, we can say that, I mean, like even this new moon and solar eclipse comes with a lot of fiery energy that is coming through areas. We may need to find a way to first step our feet much better on the ground, make an effort about that, and also it at the same time could mean that we should find more practical ways to plant these new seeds during this period, as a general sense. And looking at the modality again, it's we can say that, I mean, like we have more like this cardinal and mutable modalities, which is, I mean, like either we are like initiating stuff, taking the lead, and that the energy is coming through, or in case we have this adaptability. But if you initiate things or if you change things, you sometimes need to also, there are points that you need to think, keep things consistent and in a way that we can stabilize stuff. And also I mean, like not like in the sense that, okay, I'm not going to change anything kind of thing, but it's like sometimes we need to find some points of uh, keeping stability. And I think that would require a lot of effort in that sense in this areas. I mean, we should make our best not to let things go out of our hands when there's a chance to uh, form a good structure for the future. I think in that sense, in terms of elements and modality, it's easy. It would be possible to say all these. And regarding the new moon, mm, especially in terms of lunar gestation cycle, it's worth mentioning to say that the new seeds planted now might have a completion or a peak point on 26th of September 2020. 26th of September 2026. Yeah, because it's everything 26. I was like, what am I looking at? But it would be around 3 degrees of Aries instead of nearly 9 degrees of Aries. And the eclipse is also going to occur in the first decan of Aries, which means that in the first 10 degrees of the sign of Aries, which carries a very dominant Mars impact. Because when we look at the decans, these 10 degrees part in the signs, each decan has a ruler, and in this case, in addition to Mars being the traditional ruler of Aries, the decan rulers I'm saying because in different orders, it's always Mars. So there's a really dominant Mars impact, like it's like a push power in a way. And the people with cardinal placements, their natal charts mostly focus being on the ones who have placements in Aries, and we can add, of course, as the opposite part is Libra, but probably mostly in Aries could have a more impact in their natal charts around the degrees that I have mentioned. Might experience the solar eclipse more than the others, although the eclipse will happen this or that way in a certain area of our lives, depending on which house Aries and also we can add Libra are placed in. So it will happen in a certain area of lives, but when it makes the actors of the solar eclipse and new moon make a contact with our natal charts, especially with the personal planets, mostly. It could be any planet, but most most importantly with the personal planets, which are the Sun, Moon, Mars, Venus, and Mercury. But in other cases, it could be Saturn, Jupiter, as well. I mean, it doesn't mean that they won't have any impact. We can feel it much more than the other people. And again, going back to 2006, we can think, if anything, important happened in that time, I mean, especially in March, and there is a chance that the impact maybe tomorrow we may not see like, oh, we planted new seeds and this will happen, but generally eclipses sometimes may carry an impact around 3 to 6 months maximum. I think it would be 6 months. So one last point, which is very interesting, is that neither moon nor the sun does have any major aspect with the rest of the sky, which brings to my mind the talk that I just followed last week by Carol Taylor about the unaspected planets, and there she pointed out a very interesting point, which was a term duet introduced by Jeffrey Dean for the planets which aspect only each other. In this chart of the eclipse, we see that moon and sun is in terms of major aspect, like major connection, they only are in contact with each other, because Mercury would be too far to be considered in touch with them, and they will have this kind of frictiony aspect with the Uranus, but that's a minor aspect as well. So we can say that the relationship between Moon and Sun in the solar eclipse might carry much more importance than in the case of event happening where the Sun and the Moon have more context with the rest of the sky. So I think that would be all of my points, technical points that I could say about this upcoming solar eclipse and also the new moon. I will be making another video in which you can watch the humble interpretation by myself. Uh, Please stay tuned and see you soon. Bye bye.